Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's me, Tom. Um, I want to talk about a role-playing game. Uh, Now, I talked about the system before. I made another video about the system, but I can't believe not more people are talking about this or playing this game system. I'm going to talk about Tiny Dungeons, or Tiny Dungeon, singular, by Alan Barr. I think I said his name right. But it's a minimalistic system. It's very open-ended. There is not a ton in here, which kind of works in its favor because it inspires DMs and players to come up with different things that really suits their character instead of like traditional 5e where you're railroaded into certain advancement paths with limited number of choices. You have a lot more freedom here. You have a lot more freedom to make the kind of character that you do want to play, which I think is refreshing and much needed in role playing games. It also inspires a lot more creativity. Um, uh, I'll be honest with you, I haven't played it yet. I've got a game set up ready to go, but it looks like combat is going to be much faster, much quicker, more dynamic, and a lot more fun, which uh, sounds pretty cool. Um, Now, the reason why I bought it up, I started buying like a whole bunch of books for it because there's a lot of support and there's a lot of different ideas out there. Let's see. If you're looking for more spells, you have the Micronomicon. Look how thick this book is, okay? With all sorts of different magic powers and abilities and spells and everything. And some of them are really original, like a cook pot where a person can be cook food, and that's how they provide their buffs or their spells. Is in their cooking and their food. It's actually pretty cool. Check it out. Advanced Tiny Dungeon for those who, even though you like the minimalistic rules, you want a little bit more like Dungeons and Dragons. It introduces like armor class and things like that, and a little bit more of the original Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Another really good book. Tiny Taverns, which is about running a tavern, and it's pretty cool. And it takes away the need for hit points in it. It has the alternate rules where if you don't want to use hit points, you just kind of describe your injury and how those injuries go away. And let's see if you need more like a beast or something like that. Uh, they have the Bestiarium of Vocabulum. This is a really thick book full of original monster ideas. Some of the classic ones you can't find, but that's kind of good because I think it needs original ideas. Check it out. And then there's Thunderscape, which I purchased recently. And I haven't had a chance to really look through this book, but I guess it's based on a 1990s video game, and then they made supplements for it for Pathfinder and for another system, Savage Worlds, which is pretty cool. From what I glanced through, is pretty cool. But what I really want to talk about is one of the gems of this, and that is this book, this really tiny book, Between Sun and Shadow. Okay, it's super cheap. Okay, it's not a huge book, but the ideas that it brings into it are totally freaking original. It's about a land that is one portion of the land is forever locked in sunlight, the other in darkness, and there's a permanent twilight area in between, which is kind of cool. But all the character ideas and everything it brings to the table is really friggin' cool. They bring the idea of like carvers, which is kind of like benders from Avatar, not the CGI blue people, but the awesome anime that came out a while ago, like the Last Airbender. But they go into more than just elements. They go into people can bend time and or gravity or things like that. And that's just one small sample of stuff that they bring into it. They bring in new heritages. They bring in new traits. It's really freaking cool. The art in it is really good. It looks like it uses the same artist from Tiny D6, but he's really freaking good. I mean, if you take a look at that, that's awesome. But it amazes me that I know it hit like a bestseller, or it's like bestseller for minimalistic systems or something on Drive Through RPG. But even if you're just looking for ideas for like a new realm to kind of work in, this thing can totally jumpstart your imagination. It's fantastic. Have you guys played Tiny Dungeons? Let me know. I highly recommend this book right here. along with the Tiny Dungeons book. But this is probably one of the best books I've purchased for role playing games in a very long time. It's super slick. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to pump out a quick video talking about that, and I will talk to you later.